everybody. John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Sunday, November 14th, 2021. Time is 3:37 p.m. Yes, Jersey time. Okay, so here's an interesting story about some bad cops who thought they could get away with something, and they didn't. They blew it. This is reported on NJ.com on November 10th, 2021. Cops didn't knock during search warrant, walked in on naked woman, so judge tosses evidence.
Say what?
Alright, so imagine that. You stand there, you're butt naked, doing whatever it is you're doing when you're butt naked, and all of a sudden some heroes come breaking your door down when the warrant clearly says must knock. Again, the heroes, they're not too smart, are they, people? Okay, let's find out what it says. A state appeals court. Come on, stop it. A state appeals court has discarded as evidence the drugs police say they found during the search of Middlesex County Apartment due to the officers inexplicably ignoring the warrant's knock and the citizens' rights announced requirement, and walked in on a partially clad woman. Now, they'll say what part of her was clad in. Prosecutors in the case argued against tossing the drug evidence, saying there were other remedies for the Perth Amboy officers' unconstitutional conduct in late 2019 search in Sayreville. They relied mainly on a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court concerning Fourth Amendment search and seizure protection. The appeals judge disagreed, finding the cops' conduct was so flagrant that similar search and seizure protections in New Jersey Constitution, the exclusionary rule, is more applicable. The decision last week backed up a Middlesex County trial judge's prior decision to suppress the evidence in the case of Freddie Collado and Joel Corona. While a toss of evidence typically guts a drug case, their case remains active in court records, and the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office declined to comment on the case. The decision was published, meaning it's law moving forward. And it's important because the appellate judges who heard the case as a first impression to make such a presidential decision found greater protection in the state constitution versus the U.S. Constitution, said Barry H. Evanchik, who argued for the defense as a friend of the court for the Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers of New Jersey. New Jersey's search and seizure protections, Evanchik said, can be seen as more generous than the protections on the federal level in such instance. Evanchik, a former prosecutor, said the decision also illustrates baffling police conduct and the rather extreme consequences that can occur when the knock and announce of a warrant is ignored.
Okay.
No reasonable person, Evanchik said, expects police to silently surface in their bedroom in their home. The decision describes police behavior as confusingly unlawful. What else is new? Everything they do seems to be unlawful. When the officers went to execute the narcotics warrant at Corona's Sayreville apartment in December 2019, the decision says they found her boyfriend Collado outside nearby and detained him. Collado told the detectives he did not live in town and he did not have keys to the Corona's apartment. Months later, officers simply walked in, ignoring the first part of the knock and announce warrant instructions. They did offer a hello when they got inside in a normal speaking tone, the decision said. See, they think some of these cops are so arrogant. They think they can just get away with everything and anything, and this is probably standard procedure for them to just walk in and then lie later. You know, you get five and stand around, oh yeah, we did, oh yeah, we did. Corona was in an upstairs bedroom and heard something. Babe, she asked. She was naked from the waist down.
Yeah, baby.
Don't say what her boobs look like. Officer said nothing, went upstairs and entered her bedroom. How you doing? What's going on? One asked. Only then did the officers announce themselves as police. In later court hearings, the officers admitted they failed to follow the warrant's instructions. They didn't fail. They intentionally didn't do it. So it's not a fail. They chose not to do it and had no exigent circumstances to justify ignoring them, the decision says. That's just how they operate, because they're crooked. You think these cops are going to get written up, get suspended, or anything like that? Of course not. There will be a lawsuit, though. The Perth Amboy Police Department did not respond to a request for comment about the case. Middlesex Prosecutor's Office argued before the appeals judges that instead of ruling the drugs inadmissible, a better punishment and deterrent for such officer misconduct are things like police body cameras, victims of the misconduct filing lawsuits, and police internal affairs investigation. Collado and Corona's attorneys, joined also by the American Civil Liberties Union of New Jersey lawyers, argued the exclusionary rule was the only way to deter police from making the same gross error. Two of the police who entered Corona's apartment wore body cameras, they noted. And during the oral arguments, prosecutors were unable to confirm whether the Perth Amboy officers had been disciplined. Well, you know they're not disciplined.
Come on, man.
Forget about it. I hope these people follow the complaint. Judge agreed, saying officers' actions rendered a case unconstitutionally defective and is an effective deterrent for police. It's simply objectively unreasonably without justification for police to ignore a knock and announce requirement contained in a warrant that they request and obtain. Ignoring the requirement contravenes the search and seizure rights of New Jersey residents. They probably figured they'd go in there and these people don't have a lawyer and these people get a public defenders for the most part just walk you down the plank. They're deal makers. That's probably what they thought, or they're so accustomed to that they just do what they want and no consequences. And probably the most thing that happened to them, they probably got a kick in the ass because they screwed the case up, and that'll be it. You think they're going to get
check the mic and make sure it sounds
suspended?
right,
They're going to get fined? You think they're going to pay for those people's lawyers? Of course not. That's how you start holding and changing things. You make these cops personally responsible for their screw-ups. I'll put the link in the description. You go read the story yourself. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Gunnison Undercover Facebook. I'll be posting a lot of stuff there. I can't do all these Blue Zero Hero stories. There's too many, and I just don't have the time. I'm John Van Dyke. Till next time.